Have you ever tried guiding a plane down for a landing, be it in a simulator or the real deal? It's quite a challenge, especially considering the long runway needed to bring a plane to a halt. But what about jets landing on aircraft carriers? Aircraft carriers are like floating runways, which are a fraction of the size of regular ones. So what are the tricks of landing a jet on it? This video will explore how naval aviators land on an aircraft carrier. Let's start by wrapping our heads around just how compact an aircraft carrier's runway is compared to regular airport runways. While typical airport runways span between 8,000 to 13,000 feet, an aircraft carrier's runway is a mere 500 feet long, making it about 13 to 26 times shorter. Now, imagine fighter jet pilots tasked with landing on this miniature strip of deck, a feat that demands precision and a well-coordinated set of safety protocols. Before the green light for landing, fighter jet pilots engage in a circular hop near the carrier, patiently awaiting clearance from the carrier's air traffic controller. The decision on who gets to go ahead first depends on fuel levels, ensuring a smooth and secure landing for everyone involved. Once given the green signal, the pilot deploys a unique device called a tail hook, a metal pole with a hook at the end, exclusive to carrier-based aircraft. As the jet approaches the carrier, a high-tech savior comes into play, the Fresnel lens optical landing system. This system activates to guide the pilot down the carrier runway safely. It projects beams of light that act as signals for the pilot, indicating whether they are flying too high or too low. Now, picture an amber light positioned about some green lights. If the amber light is above the green lights, it's a signal the pilot is coming in too high. If it's below, they're too low. It's a finely tuned ballet of lights and hooks in an adrenaline-charged world of carrier landings. In the exhilarating moments just before the aircraft touches down, the pilot skillfully guides the fighter jet to snag one of the arresting wires on the carrier's runway, utilizing its tailhook like a precision tool. These arresting wires, composed of interwoven high-tensile steel, are linked to a powerful hydraulic system beneath the carrier's deck. Spread out in parallel fashion, there are typically 3 to 4 arresting wires spaced approximately 50 feet apart on the carrier's deck. Although pilots are advised to target the third wire, any of them can do the trick. Upon the jet's touchdown, as it engages with one of these wires, the lower hydraulic system springs into action, rapidly absorbing the tremendous energy from the aircraft's speed and swiftly bringing it to a halt. It's a high-stakes action that unfolds in mere seconds. Once safely on the carrier's runway, the deck crew takes charge, seamlessly moving the plane to the side and securing it down to the deck, ensuring a dramatic and safe conclusion to this adrenaline-pumping landing sequence. Navigating the intricate dance of landing an aircraft on an aircraft carrier is a high-stakes endeavor, far from a guaranteed flawless feat. Pilots engage in a heart-pounding practice. As soon as their aircraft touches down on the carrier's runway, they slam the throttle to full power. But why, if you're wondering? So the answer is to defy gravity again, in case they miss the arresting wire and need a second shot at landing. The power surge may sound risky, especially near ground personnel, but fear not, the hydraulics can handle it. Yet the deck crew isn't taking any chances. Equipped with self-inflating life jackets, they guard against the possibility of being swept into the water by the engine's mighty blast. The flight deck crew, heroes in their own right, face a multiple of potential dangers. Imagine battling raging aircraft fires mid-flight, but fear not. The flight deck is armed with a compact fire truck and nozzles connected to water tanks filled with aqueous film-forming foam, a futuristic firefighting material. And what about the ever-looming threat of a jet engine tossing crew members overboard? Safety nets offer some reassurance, but the crew is doubly protected with float coats, self-inflating jackets with flashing distress lights upon water contact, and heavy-duty cranial helmets preserving both head and hearing. But wait, what if an incoming aircraft faces a malfunction? A crash barricade springs up, woven from sturdy wires as a last-ditch effort to halt disaster. The deck crew stands ready with an arsenal of fire-extinguishing tools reminiscent of a typical airport. Landing on an aircraft carrier, while a daring and difficult task, becomes a carefully choreographed symphony of precautions. Meticulously implementing measures significantly diminishes the odds of failure or tragedy. Nevertheless, even with these safeguards, carrier landings remain the domain of the elite, a task only entrusted to the best of the best among pilots. The aircraft carrier's towering island, a pint-sized powerhouse standing at around 150 feet tall but only 20 feet wide at the base, ingeniously preserving precious space on the flight deck. This airborne command hub is not just a space-saving marvel, it's the nerve center for flight deck operations and the entire ship. The summit of the island is a high-tech symphony, adorned with an assortment of radar and communication antennas that multitask like superheroes, monitoring surrounding ships and aircraft, intercepting and jamming enemy radar signals, targeting foes in the air and missiles, and even catching satellite phones and TV signals. Venturing below, we discover the Pry-Fly, where the air boss and mini boss orchestrate aircraft activities with the finesse of seasoned aviators. Armed with computers and communication gadgets, they also rely on a panoramic view from their 6-story vantage point. As an aircraft approaches within 3/4 of a mile, the landing signals officer takes command to ensure a safe landing. Meanwhile, on the same level, the adventurous can step onto Vulture's Row, a balcony providing a breathtaking view of the entire flight deck. One level down lies the bridge, the ship's command hub, where the captain steers the ship from a regal leather chair surrounded by an array of screens. The commanding officer, often a former Navy pilot, uniquely understands flight deck operations. Still, they're confined to the captain's chair, unable to indulge their pilot instincts. The bridge, equipped with top-notch monitors, including GPS receivers and radar screens, relies on the crew's eyes to stay vigilant. Further below, the flag bridge serves as the Admiral's command post for the carrier group. Deeper still, operational centers hum with activity, such as the flight deck control and launch operations room. The aircraft handling officer, armed with a tool amusingly named the Ouija board, meticulously tracks aircraft movement on the flight deck and in the hangar. Additional subterranean chambers house critical centers like the Carrier Air Traffic Control Center, or CATCC, a bustling hub of radio and radar equipment similar to its land-based counterpart, and the Combat Direction Center, or CDC, where the ship's battle command unfolds by processing intelligence on potential threats. In an aircraft carrier, the island and its inner sanctums are the beating heart, seamlessly directing the complexities of naval aviation. While the flight deck crew can accommodate a handful of aircraft in the open air, most of the carrier's impressive fleet, numbering between 80 to 100 aircraft, finds its home in the bustling Hangar Bay, the carrier's equivalent of a high-tech garage. Nestled 2 decks beneath the flight deck, just below the galley deck, the underground marvel is a powerhouse capable of snugly housing over 60 aircraft, along with spare jet engines, fuel tanks, and heavy equipment, neatly divided into 4 zones by sliding doors for safety. The hangar is flanked by single-deck compartments on either side, standing 3 decks tall, creating a hive of organized activity. Adding to the intrigue are the 4 colossal elevators encircling the hangar, their high-speed, aluminum hydraulic magic, capable of effortlessly hoisting 2 74,000 pounds or about 34,000 kilogram fighter jets from the depths of the hangar to the flight deck above. Venture further aft and you'll discover the aircraft's Intermediate Maintenance Division, or AIMD shops, where skilled technicians toil ceaselessly to repair and test aircraft equipment, ensuring the squadron is always ready for action. At the ship's stern, beyond the hangar bay, the AIMD shops open up to an airy engine testing area on the fantail. In this exclusive space, maintenance crews conduct the powerful ballet of blasting aircraft jet engines, a vital step to guarantee their optimal functionality. This behind-the-scenes symphony of maintenance and preparation ensures that the carrier's airborne fleet is an impressive sight on the flight deck and a meticulously maintained force, ready to take flight at a moment's notice. The modern supercarrier is often dubbed a city at sea, a floating kingdom where 5,000 to 6,000 individuals toil, unwind, dine, and sleep for extended stretches, akin to a bustling metropolis. Yet, this maritime cityscape diverges drastically from its land-based counterparts. Residents, immersed in the pulse of the ship, seldom glimpse the outside world. While the flight deck, hangar, and fantail offer breathtaking views, they're bustling and perilous during routine operations, granting access to only a few. Those working below the deck might traverse weeks without a peek of daylight. Space is a premium commodity, with narrow corridors, nearly vertical steps, and berthing compartments resembling snug quarters where enlisted personnel share bunks in stacks of 3. Officers, though, granted more spacious accommodations, contend with confined living conditions. Aboard, roles span a diverse spectrum, mirroring a typical city's variety. Approximately 2,500 individuals comprise the Air Wing, responsible for flying and maintaining aircraft, while another 3,000 form the ship's company, ensuring the carrier's seamless operation. From culinary duties to nuclear reactor maintenance, living quarters are snug, but the carrier provides essential amenities. Multiple galleys churn up to 18,000 daily meals, complemented by laundry facilities, dental and medical offices, stores, and satellite-linked phones connecting personnel with their families. Life on board, though strenuous, holds its own thrills, especially those on the flight deck, where the exhilaration of flying and guiding planes onto a compact runway unfolds against the backdrop of the vast sea. Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more engaging content. Your support keeps us motivated to bring you quality information.